Some places on Earth are breathtakingly beautiful, but getting close to them can mean stepping dangerously close to the edge. From giant waves and erupting volcanoes to terrifying mountain roads, these are places where nature leaves little room for mistakes. Today we're exploring 15 extraordinary destinations that push adventure to the extreme. Which one would you dare to experience? Subscribe and let the journey begin. Welcome back to HD Travel Insight. Teahupo'o, Tahiti, French Polynesia. At Teahupo'o, the ocean doesn't simply rise, it folds into a massive wall of water capable of swallowing a surfer in seconds. Located off Tahiti, Teahupo'o produces some of the heaviest and most spectacular waves on Earth. During the southern hemisphere winter, powerful Pacific swells break over a shallow coral reef, creating enormous, thick barrels. For the world's best surfers, that is exactly what makes Teahupo'o irresistible. They accelerate down the face and disappear inside the barrel while rescue teams wait nearby on jet skis. But Teahupo'o leaves almost no room for error. Just beneath the wave lies a shallow, sharp coral reef, where a serious wipeout can turn a perfect ride into an extremely dangerous situation. North Youngers Road, Death Road, Bolivia. A vertical mountainside on one side, a deep drop on the other, and in some places, the road is only about 3 meters wide. This is Bolivia's North Youngers Road, better known as the Death Road. Built in the 1930s, it once served as a major route connecting La Paz with the Yungas region. Dense fog waterfalls spilling onto the road, blind corners, and landslide-prone slopes made traveling here particularly dangerous. Today, most regular traffic uses a newer highway. But Death Road still attracts thrill seekers, especially mountain bikers racing downhill along the narrow track just meters from the edge. The scenery is spectacular, but here a few meters of road can be all that separates the mountain from the abyss. Mount Yasur, Tanna, Island Vanuatu. Most active volcanoes are observed from a safe distance, but at Mount Yasur visitors can approach the crater area and watch eruptions unfold before them. Located on Tanna Island in Vanuatu, Yasur rises about 361 meters, with a crater roughly 400 meters across. It is known as one of the world's most accessible active volcanoes. When Yasur erupts, explosions can send ash and glowing volcanic material above the crater. And after sunset, the spectacle becomes even more dramatic as bursts of red light illuminate the darkness. Here, you don't simply see an active volcano from afar. You can hear, watch, and feel its power unfolding right in front of you. Which of these places would you dare to experience? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe because the journey is only getting more extreme. Aiguille du Midi, Chamonix, France. A cable car leaves the streets of Chamonix and climbs into an entirely different world. By the time you reach Aiguille du Midi, you are standing at 3,842 meters, surrounded by the glaciers and jagged peaks of the French Alps. But one attraction takes the experience even further. Called Step into the Void, it is a transparent glass box extending from the mountain with more than 1,000 meters of empty space visible beneath your feet. From inside, almost everything around you is transparent. The walls, the floor, even the view directly downward. Thousands of meters above the valley, your brain knows the glass is there. Your eyes may tell you something completely different. Kawah Ijen, East Java, Indonesia. Long before sunrise, people climb through the darkness of East Java toward an eerie blue glow coming from a volcanic crater. The phenomenon has made Kawah Ijen famous around the world. Sulfur-rich gases escape through cracks at high temperatures and can ignite, producing the electric blue flames commonly known as blue fire. When daylight arrives, another landscape is revealed, a turquoise crater lake surrounded by steep volcanic walls at more than 2,000 meters above sea level. For years, sulfur miners have also worked in this hostile environment, carrying heavy loads through fumes and steep terrain. The blue flames may look almost supernatural on camera, but what creates them is very real. Burning sulfur in one of Indonesia's harshest volcanic environments. Kaieteur Falls, Guyana. Niagara is famous around the world, but hidden deep inside Guyana's rainforest is a waterfall with a main drop more than 4 times higher. The Petaro River plunges approximately 226 meters at Kaieteur Falls, disappearing into a gorge surrounded by vast tropical wilderness. There are no major cities around it and no skyline to reveal its scale. Much of what surrounds Kaieteur is simply rainforest stretching toward the horizon. That isolation is part of what makes the waterfall so extraordinary. Visitors arriving in the region suddenly encounter an enormous volume of water dropping from a sandstone plateau into a landscape that still feels remarkably wild. From above, even the river seems small against the forest. Then it reaches the edge, and the entire landscape suddenly opens beneath it. Enjoying the journey? Subscribe and stay with us. The adventure is far from over. Huayna, Picchu, Peru. Behind the ruins of Machu Picchu rises a mountain that thousands of visitors photograph, but far fewer choose to climb. Huayna Picchu reaches about 2,693 meters above sea level, and the route toward its summit follows steep stone stairways built into the mountainside. Some sections are so narrow and sharply inclined that hikers use both hands as they make their way upward. These ancient Inca steps have earned the dramatic nickname Stairs of Death. The reward is an extraordinary view. From the summit, Machu Picchu appears hundreds of meters below, surrounded by the enormous green peaks of the Andes. But the same landscape that makes the climb spectacular also makes every steep section feel more exposed. Here, one of the world's most famous archaeological sites is not the end of the adventure, it is the view waiting beneath you. Via Ferrata delle Trincee, Dolomites, Italy. Clip the carabiner onto the steel cable, find the next foothold, and try not to focus on how far the mountainside drops beneath you. High in Italy's Dolomites, Via Ferrata delle Trincee follows an exposed route across rocky ridges and steep mountain faces. Instead of an ordinary hiking trail, climbers rely on fixed steel cables, metal holds, and climbing equipment to move through the most difficult sections. But this route carries more than adrenaline. The mountains still contain trenches, tunnels, and military positions dating back to World War I, when soldiers fought across the high-altitude terrain of the Dolomites. Today, climbers move through the same dramatic landscape for an entirely different reason. One moment, you're crossing exposed rock above the valley, the next you're stepping into a century-old piece of history hidden inside the mountain. Bishop Rock Lighthouse, Isles of Scilly, United Kingdom. Far out in the Atlantic, there is a lighthouse with almost nowhere around it to stand. Bishop Rock Lighthouse rises from a tiny rock at the western edge of the Isles of Scilly, surrounded by open sea. The present granite tower was completed in 1858 and stands about 49 meters tall, built to warn ships away from one of Britain's notoriously hazardous maritime areas. But constructing a lighthouse here was an extraordinary challenge. An earlier iron tower was destroyed by a storm in 1850 before it could even enter service. For generations, lighthouse keepers then lived on this isolated rock, while Atlantic storms and enormous waves battered the structure around them. From a distance, the tower looks almost impossibly small against the ocean. And when the sea turns violent, Bishop Rock reveals exactly why a lighthouse was needed here in the first place. Which of these places has surprised you the most so far? Tell us in the comments, and stay with us because some of the strangest and most extreme places are still ahead. Danakil Depression, Dallol, Ethiopia. Few places on Earth seem less welcoming to human life than the Danakil Depression. In northeastern Ethiopia, this vast desert region sinks to more than 100 meters below sea level in places and is notorious for extreme heat. Around Dallol, geothermal activity has created an almost alien landscape of salt formations, acidic pools, and mineral deposits glowing in shades of yellow, green, and orange. Temperatures here can climb beyond 45 C, while the combination of intense heat, volcanic gases, and unstable geothermal terrain makes exploration particularly demanding. Yet people have lived and worked across this hostile landscape for generations, including Afar salt miners who travel through the desert extracting blocks of salt. From above, Dallol can look like another planet, but this strange world isn't millions of kilometers away. It's right here on Earth. Main Peslung Pass, Her Giang, Vietnam. In the mountains of northern Vietnam, one of the country's most spectacular roads was carved through terrain that once seemed almost impossible to cross. Mon Po Long Pass forms part of the famous Happiness Road connecting Man and Movi Sea in Ho Giang. The pass stretches for roughly 20 kilometers, twisting along steep limestone mountains high above the No Ku River. Today, motorbikes wind around tight bends with towering rock walls on one side and enormous valleys opening on the other. Below, the turquoise No Ku River cuts through the mountains and the dramatic 2SN Canyon. For travelers, Ma Palong is breathtaking. For the people who built a road through these mountains, it was an extraordinary feat of determination. Skelly Michael, Ireland. More than 1,000 years ago, monks chose an extraordinary place to escape from the outside world, a jagged island rising from the Atlantic Ocean. About 12 kilometers off the coast of southwest Ireland, Skellig Michael is crowned by an ancient monastic settlement built high above the sea. To reach it, visitors climb hundreds of old stone steps, winding steeply up the island, many with no conventional handrails. The monastery was established by early Christian monks who lived here in remarkable isolation inside distinctive stone huts, while storms and Atlantic waves surrounded the island. Even getting there depends heavily on sea and weather conditions. Today, Skellig Michael is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but the journey still preserves some of the isolation that drew monks here centuries ago. If you could experience just one of these places, which one would you choose? Share your answer below and stay with us because 3 incredible destinations are still ahead. Mount Washington, New Hampshire, USA. For decades, one mountain held a remarkable weather record, a surface wind speed of 231 miles per hour, about 372 kilometers per hour. That measurement was recorded on Mount Washington in New Hampshire in 1934. Although the summit rises only 1917 meters, its location and geography create some of the most severe mountain weather in North America. Temperatures can plunge far below freezing, while powerful winds, heavy snow, dense fog, and rapidly changing conditions can transform the summit within hours. In winter, buildings become coated in thick layers of rime ice, and researchers at the Mount Washington Observatory work in conditions that sometimes look more like Antarctica than the northeastern United States. Trift Bridge, Swiss Alps, Switzerland. The landscape beneath this bridge did not always look like this. As the Trift Glacier retreated, reaching the mountain hut on the opposite side became increasingly difficult. The solution was to build a suspension bridge high above the glacial landscape. Today's Trift Bridge stretches about 170 meters across the gorge and hangs roughly 100 meters above the ground. The narrow walkway is surrounded by steep mountains, exposed rock, and the turquoise waters created by the retreating glacier. And because reaching the bridge itself requires a mountain journey, the crossing feels like part of a much larger alpine adventure. Socotra Yemen. Far out in the Arabian Sea lies Socotra, an isolated archipelago famous for plants found almost nowhere else on the planet. Its most recognizable symbol is the dragon's blood tree, with a strange umbrella-shaped canopy and deep red resin. But Socotra offers much more. Enormous sand dunes descend toward turquoise water limestone, mountains rise above remote valleys, and unusual plants transform parts of the island into landscapes that seem almost prehistoric. Unlike many places in our journey, Socotra doesn't need a terrifying cliff or an erupting crater to feel extreme. Its greatest surprise is simply that a place this strange actually exists on Earth. Some places on Earth are breathtakingly beautiful, but getting close to them can mean stepping dangerously close to the edge. From giant waves and erupting volcanoes to terrifying mountain roads, these are places where nature leaves little room for mistakes. Today we're exploring 15 extraordinary destinations that push adventure to the extreme. Which one would you dare to experience? Subscribe and let the journey begin.